All right, fam. It's Erica with Not Your Average EDC. We just had a big change. I hit my last nerve with the Instagram community, and I sold off the whole folder collection pretty much, and I'm deleting the page as soon as I send out tracking tomorrow for all of the shipments. I know, everyone is like, whoa, why would you do that? You're so weak. You're such a baby. You have soft skin. First of all, yes, that is all true. But second of all, you have to realize there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that you guys don't know, right? Like, you got to remember that when people are on a social media platform and they're content creators, you don't see everything. It's not like I share everything with you. You have to remember that this is months and months and months of continuous comments about the living situation. And then this final one today just kind of topped it off because this guy just doesn't stop. So I decided I will just sell everything and move on, right? But I know that you guys want to see what I kept because I love knives. I use knives. It's not like I sold every single one. I just sold like 95% of the collection. But I did keep a few because I need knives to get through everyday life. And also, I will still continue to use these and document them. I think it'll be so cool recording like a small Nkosi after 5 years of use, right? I don't know, that might be cool. Or like a small Sebenza after 5 years of use. I think that'll be fun. So we're still going to do knife content. It's just not going to be the main focus of the channel anymore because it's just not something that interests me anymore. It's very... The community has just like turned in such a different direction that it's not like a creative outlet for me anymore. It's a competition, it's cutthroat, and it's a lot of like bullying. And yes, there are so many great people in it, but I've really noticed that a lot of the great people, surprisingly, are on YouTube. Like, yes, there are trolls. I have so many people blocked, but a lot of you guys are over here on YouTube too. So why not just like get off of Instagram where it's solely bullying and competition and just be on here, right? So what did we keep? What are we going to continue making content on along with workwear, minimalist living, off-grid living, all the great outdoors, the real meaning of life, right? What did we keep to make content with? Definitely the small Nkosi with black gun coat. That stayed. We also kept the small Sebenza 21, of course. There's no way that was leaving. No way. We kept the small Sebenza 31 with micarta inlays. Okay. Do you see a trend here? We kept the small Sebenza 31 plain Jane double lug in S45. We kept the GEC bullnose, so we're still gonna do the traditional carry for next month just for the fun of it. I'm not gonna do like my monthly knife reviews anymore because I have nothing left to review. I've already reviewed all of these, but we will still do traditional carry next month for that whole testing thing. There's no way the Emerson Mini A100 was going nowhere. Are you kidding me? This is my tried and true. This is my baby. This one will never leave. Benchmade 940, the only Benchmade I kept. I needed to keep this. I love this knife. And if and when this does break someday, I will buy a new one. This is the only Benchmade I will continue to buy. And I will keep fixing it and using their warranty and stuff for eternity with this because this is just my ideal knife. And lastly, I did keep for a kind of like a thin and slicey blade, I did keep the Neutron 2 from TRM Knives. And that's it. That's all I kept. I wanted to give myself a little bit of variety to keep, so I have like super thin and slicey here. I have a lot of middle points with the Chris Reeve knives. I feel these are very like middle point knife blade shapes and thicknesses and geometries, all that good stuff. And then, you know, obviously we've got like our absolute sharpened pry bars here with the Mini A100 and the 940. These are just like absolute hard use. You can pry with the tips of them. And then one traditional, right? One traditional knife. But that's it. That's all we kept. And that's all I really need, right? We don't... here's the thing. I'm moving into a camper, and I'm going to be living with essentially no electricity, no running water, no showers, no bathroom, like hooked up to any of this stuff. Nothing, right? Very minimalist living. And I just feel like maybe this was kind of the last part of my old life that I needed to get rid of. I don't know. I've changed a lot of things. I've done some huge drastic changes since I made my Instagram and my YouTube, right? I mean, making the Instagram was huge for me. We hit almost 10,000 followers during that. Cutting off my dreadlocks on camera here on YouTube. I had those dreads for 5 years and they were down to the backs of my kneecaps when I cut them off. That video's here on YouTube. That was a huge change for me. I went through a massive separation with my fiance, which that's like if you're a real OG, you will know about that. I was engaged to Nicole's identical twin sister, Mariah, and she used to be on the channel, which is wild. She used to be on my Instagram videos, and we were engaged, and I had to go through it was a very abusive relationship, and we called that off. This is all stuff that has happened during the knife community thing, right? Losing my housing, changing jobs, everything has changed. And I think the last thing for me was this kind of overhanging, knife community, collective addiction, toxic behavior. And I know that the whole community isn't like that. Don't get me wrong. It's not the whole community, but it is a lot of it. The addiction to buying knives and taking pictures and staring at them and bullying other people and the hate groups. It just it gets out of hand. And I did make an ego and an image for my page and for my channel. And I don't even want it anymore. Like, y'all can win, bro. You guys can win. I just don't want any part of it anymore. I want to kind of have a fresh start. And this was the last piece. That collection was like my baby, guys. You got to understand. It took years to build that collection up. Years. And I loved every single knife. But do I need it? No. I really don't. And there's a lot of history attached to that collection. So I kept literally just what I needed. A good rotation so that when I dull one, I don't have to sharpen it immediately. If I don't have time, I can just switch to a next one. Like a nice, good little rotation. We got 2, 4, 6, 8 knives. That's it. We kept 8 knives out of thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of knives. Only 8 to rotate through, which is a good amount because I use my knives a lot, and this will be great for when I don't have time to sharpen all the time. But yeah, just remember, guys, there's so much that you don't see. Like, I'm a trooper. I just lost my fucking housing and I'm living in a camper. I can be a trooper. It's just like when it's months and months and months of like the same stuff over and over again, sometimes it's just time to let go. And once my Instagram is gone, a lot of those people don't know about the YouTube channel or don't watch it. And then they can't even contact me. You know what I'm saying? Like, Instagram is very personal, right? They can DM you. They know you. YouTube, you're kind of just like a floating head. People can leave comments, and if you don't like them, you can just block them. It's not as direct. It's like watching TV. YouTube is almost like fake. It's just like watching TV. Instagram is so real. That was like my creative outlet for my photography. I love photography. That's why some of my photos were just wild, and rustic and vintage. I love photography, but I can do that without Instagram. That's the thing. I shouldn't need Instagram. I shouldn't need to show the world that I do photography just because I do photography. I shouldn't need to have Instagram to show that I love knives if I truly love knives, if I love them as tools and appreciate them. I don't need a freaking Instagram to show pictures of them every day to be like, guys, I'm part of the community too. Like, I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? And I've always been like the outcast, the oddball, the one actually using their knives and doing real reviews and recording that content and stuff. And it's like, I've always been the outcast, but this is just another way for me to be an outcast, but in a healthier manner, right? Because genuinely, I seriously, how many how many, like, 5-year reviews can you find of, like, a beat-up Small & Cozy? You know what I'm saying? Or, like, how many reviews, other than Archie, can you find of, like, 3-year reviews of a small Sebenza 21? Archie, you're the man. You were the one that created the content on these. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not that much. Like, how many reviews can you find other than Wrangler Star of, like, 7-year reviews of a 940? Maybe a few. Not by women. I can still have a place here doing things, you know, out of the ordinary. True, real, raw, realistic. It's just not going to be knife obsessed anymore. It's so saturated, guys. That community is so saturated, especially on Instagram. And I think today was just like the metaphor from the universe. I think today was just the last day that we needed to be part of that. So, moving forward, I have 8 knives that I will be using. You will see them all the time on the channel. We will talk about them, for sure. It's not like we're abandoning knife stuff. Like, that was the foundation of this channel. I love knives. I love these knives that I kept. We will still be using them, talking about them, showing them. I know that you guys love it, but we are broadening the perspective here. We are going to talk about workwear and minimalist living and hiking and the dogs and, you know, I'm going to be wearing the same damn clothes for 30 days. That's crazy. Like, testing some American-made clothing and some of the best hoodies that I have ever been able to find. We're going to put them head to head and see, like, what they can withstand. We're still going to do content in terms of EDC gear and flashlights and multi-tools. Like, trust me, that all that stuff is still there. It's just not going to be this obsessive knife focused stuff anymore, because it's not enjoyable for me anymore. And honestly, the darkness that has kind of like come over with it is just not something I want to be part of anymore. I really don't. So that was the last part of my ego to like let go to the wilderness, to let free. I am a huge believer in, like, if you build up an ego, I think it's so cool to experience it and, you know, have that whole part of your life be so real for so long, but to drop it and move on and be able to do whatever you want, I think is the coolest thing ever. Like, letting go of that ego, let it go run free somewhere else and just transform into something new. That's what life is about. So we are moving on to bigger and better things. And also, I will just say, the reason I kept these is because I trust that I can get these fixed and repaired and taken care of more so than the other brands that I was working with. Okay, so Benchmade, I've used their warranty, and I will say, as much as Benchmade sucks sometimes, their warranty has always been good to me, and I would not buy any more Benchmades. But I do trust that if something happens to this, I can send this. Sorry for the phone, it's constant. I do trust that if something happens to this, I can send it to Benchmade and they'll fix it and I'll have it back in a month or two or something, right? But very specifically with the Chris Reeve knives, I have experienced quick turnarounds with these, and I trust that if one of these craps the bed, I can send it in and get it fixed. Like, that is part of the reason why I kept some of these. Emerson, I have a close, good relationship with Emerson, and I do trust that if something happens to this Mini A100, I could send it in and they will fix it for me. No issues. I don't have to worry about using it, right? I don't have to worry about it. Some of those big mass production companies like Benchmade and Spyderco, I love Spyderco. I will always love Spyderco. I'm so glad that I got to experience them, but I do get nervous of the warranties sometimes with those bigger companies. I've had great experiences with Chris Reeve and with Emerson, just as companies, and TRM, guys. Again, another company that I just trust more, that if something happens with this, I can shoot it over to the next state because that's where they are, and this will be taken care of. And I'm glad that I stuck with these as like my little tiny collection of knives that I'm going to move forward with, because I trust them to use them. I trust the warranty to use them. I trust the company and the people to use these knives. So that's why I kept them. But guys, I need to go hang out with my friends and kind of like check out of here for a little bit. I love you all so much. Go use your shit. I will never stop saying that. Go use your shit. I love you guys so much, and I will see you soon. Adios.